This was posted in the Ask Men Advice subreddit by a man. And I had to really restrain myself to just take the screenshots. But I really do believe that many men are lonely and in a crisis because of their own doing. They just make some dumbass decisions. This man says, I'm just lost. He's 46, been married for almost 15 years. As the days go on, I'm more and more disappointed with my life. I have wonderful kids. I have a good wife. I just feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I traded all my chips in for mediocrity. It isn't about being a dad or a spouse. This is more about settling and realizing that I settled. I take care of everything. I make sure that no matter what happens, I have it covered. My marriage isn't bad. My life isn't bad. I just feel like I'm owed more for this existence. I feel that what I like and love doesn't have to be put to the wayside. I'm just I'm just tapped because I chose this and I lost me. The problem is that everyone I know just accepts it. They all just smile and say, "Yup, this is my life." I want more. I want to make more of my life. I almost feel like separation and making my own path is a choice I need to focus on. I would, of course, never hurt or bring my kids into this. I need you all to understand that I need to feel more important than an insurance provider. I'm more than I am more than having all bills paid. I'm more than fixing everything for my wife and those who know me. I want me again. How the hell do I do that without jeopardizing what I have? Or I just suck it up because this is life. I will if I have to. Hot damn. Hi. He ends it with damn. Hi. Okay. He says down here, I just feel like I am owed more for this existence. And up here, he says, I have wonderful kids and I have a good wife. And right here, he's 46 years old. So he could be going through some midlife crisis or something, some kind of situation. But, but people push women to get married, and this is supposed to be your end all be all. This woman is just, I'm looking at it obviously because I'm a woman. I'm looking at it through the eyes or the position of the woman. She's trucking along, doing her thing, doing what she needs to do as a wife and mom. And she has this man over here that is just unhappy with life because he's just doing the responsible thing, going to work, taking care of his kids, and, being a supportive husband, which he should be. But it's just not enough because he feels that he is owed more. So when he blows up his life, his relationship with this woman that hasn't done anything, like literally, he hasn't said that she has done anything. So he's going to blow up their lives for no particular reason outside of, whatever this is. And then he's going to be lonely because he's 46 years old, a divorced dad. And then he's like going to be lonely because of his own choices. And he will deserve every last bit of it. These people overestimate what they can do out there in the world. They're like, there are all these women out there, all these women that are just turning 18 and they just want me and I'm stable and I got some money and they're just going to want me. And then they go out there and they see that they're the creepy dad that women are trying to get away from. But he will have earned it. If he just walks away from his life, he will have earned it. That loneliness that is sure to ensue. The men in the comment section were kind of giving it to him. This person says, midlife crisis has entered the building. Ice Visor says exactly this, 100%. So OP, your choice is live with it, make some changes, get new hobbies, be more adventurous, or buy a sports car, hit the gym, dye your hair, start trying to smash a 26-year-old and get divorced. Choose your own adventure. According ad said, not just on OP, but sometimes I feel like people will be unhappy no matter how good they have it. We have always something to grumble about, maybe. Ricky Dale Everclear says people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. And then OK Yard says, as the wise J. Cole once said, you ain't ever going to be happy until you love yours. He never lied. Community Unite says, literally came to comment this. This song came to mind immediately. Soupless Saint says, the Marine Corps taught me life is a pissing contest on how bad you've had it. OP, okay, this is some this is some advice. OP, go bang a lady boy, lose your house in a hot hand of Thai Pak Dang, and try to climb the mountain of mediocrity again. That is some advice. Go bang a lady boy, lose your house in a hot hand of Thai Pak Dang, and try to climb the mountain of mediocrity again. Probably shouldn't do that, but okay. What's a Simba says, that's it. There are people who have very little, but they get totally choked up when talking about their family. They have gratitude. I really thought after the pandemic and all the other BS we've dealt with, people would realize that nothing is guaranteed. The whole I've always known that I was meant for great things attitude is forgivable when someone's under 30 and drunk at a dive bar. Someone who has an entire adult life with obligations they signed on for should be too busy fulfilling them to be mourning their lost potential. Let's just hope the kids haven't picked up on the disappointment yet. I told you the men are kind of giving it to him a little bit. Mark Maroon's cat says, effing for real. This is such a childish attitude to have at a midlife stage. You aren't special and you don't deserve a chance to start over. Be thankful you have a good wife and kids you love. And if you feel unfulfilled, figure out how to balance your life between the things you love and contribute to the family. It's frustrating sometimes, obviously, but you aren't going to achieve any new goals that make you feel whole by divorcing your wife to chase tail or whatever it is OP is thinking about doing. Gator Guts says, literally, this just feels like he wants an excuse to be young again and chase women, skirt responsibilities, and have fun. When he can literally do all that with his family and communicate that he wants changes and something more out of life, except chase women. So now he feels like separation is the only option. I'd never hurt my kids, but let's separate. Yeah. This person says that I'd never hurt my kids, but I'm considering a separation from my wife and family caught my attention too. He's being extremely self-centered. Caffeine Cow Pie says, why is he not allowed to center himself? It sounds like an unfulfilling life. Everyone else is allowed to center themselves. Why not him, I guess? Just because there isn't an obvious problem doesn't mean there are no problems. And that could be fine. If he chooses to skirt his responsibilities, believe that he is owed more out of life for whatever reason, and he gets divorced and then he loses his children, he loses out on a relationship that was supportive or loving or whatever, he deserves it because he needs to go out and do stuff over there. And like this person said, did a family just fall on his lap by accident? No, he picked responsibilities and now they are his responsibilities. To be ready to drop them and statistically worsen their kids' future is childish at best. And so then Caffeine Cow Pie says, so he should just be miserable for the rest of his life because he has responsibilities. And we wonder why men self-delete at such high rates. As soon as they have responsibilities, they must never think about themselves. Then they never know themselves. The thing is, don't have kids. You don't have to have kids. You don't have to get married. Don't sign up for responsibilities and then skirt out on them because you're having a midlife crisis. Just stop doing the things that you don't want to do. If you think that, you just need to be by yourself and be the only thing that matters, don't get married and have kids. Anyways, I want to leave you with that. I thought that it was very interesting that the men are giving it to him. And like I said, I do go into these subreddits to see what men are talking about sometimes, but I do not talk to men. Men need to handle men's own situations. And if they are lonely and in a crisis and doing the whole self-deletion stuff and having mental illness and stuff, let the men talk to men about getting help for men. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So a woman posted this in the Am I the A-hole subreddit. She says, am I the a-hole for being resentful towards my husband after he pressured me into having a baby I didn't want? Ladies, this is a serious situation. Please, if you know that you want to be child free, I know it is challenging to find the places that will sterilize or put or whatever, but find some long term birth control. You have to be hardcore about it. These people will pressure you and then you will become resentful. Okay, let's look at what she says though. So she's 31 and he's 33. She says, I had been married to my husband for 6 years. Before we got married, we had a clear agreement that we weren't going to have kids. I've never wanted to be a parent, and I thought he felt the same. These people will lie to you. They will lie to you. We've seen enough stories. They will lie to you. About 2 years ago, he started changing his mind. At first, it was little comments like, wouldn't it be fun to have a little one running around? Then it turned into serious conversations where he said he couldn't imagine his life without being a dad. I told him I still didn't want to have kids, but he kept saying, you'd be such a great mom, or you might feel differently once it's your own. Eventually, I gave in. I figured maybe he was right, and I didn't want to lose my marriage over this. Now we have a 7-month-old baby, and while I love my child, I can't shake the feeling that this life isn't what I wanted. I'm constantly exhausted. My career has taken a back seat, and I feel trapped in a role I didn't ask for. My husband, on the other hand, is thriving. He loves being a dad, but works long hours, leaving most of the parenting to me. Recently, I told him I'm struggling and feel like I was pressured into this. He got upset and said I was being unfair because I agreed to have the baby. He thinks I just need to adjust and stop dwelling on what I wanted before. I feel guilty for feeling this way, and I don't want my child to ever feel unloved. But I can't help but resent my husband for pushing me into something I was so clear about not wanting. Am I the a-hole? You are not the a-hole. This is like kids is something that both parties have to be completely in alignment with. One person can't want a child while the other person does, because one person is going to resent the other if they give in. If a person really wants a kid and doesn't have it, then that person is going to be resentful because their spouse didn't give them a child. If a person never wanted a baby and then gave in, that person is going to be resentful, and that person might be resentful to both the child and the spouse. Like these women think that they are on the same page with their husbands, but these men are just biding time and thinking that they're going to wear these women down. That's the reason why it's like, if you know the people that are watching, this lady, she's already created this child. This child has to be taken care of. But if you know within the bottom of your soul, the very back of your brain, you've never wanted a child, take the steps to take care of that, because these people will do what they can to make sure that they wear you down, guilt you into something. And now what? Now you just have to deal with it. Okay, so let's get into some of these comments. Daycare for the baby and get your career back on track. He loves being a dad because he isn't home most of the time, and nothing has changed concerning his career. His days are basically the same as before the baby, with the exception of whatever time he spends with the child. He got what he wanted and has little change in his routine, job unaffected, and doesn't seem to care how you feel. Not the a-hole, but resentment will eat you alive. Take back your life and what you wanted for it. Garden Safe says, good advice. He wanted the child, so he needs to pay for daycare or a nanny so OP can also thrive again. And then Ann says, no, he can't just outsource childcare. He also has to be the primary parent during the hours they're home with the child. And then Deeply Depressed says, I agree with this one. He needs to work less hours and take on some of the household chores and mental load. And Malfeasant Pay says, but we all know he's not going to be the primary parent, so childcare is the best option. Bibliophile with Coffee says, he needs to do 100% of at-home parenting and picking up after the child as well. Princess Xbot says, you're absolutely right. It sounds like he's getting the best of both worlds while you're shouldering the burdens. It's no wonder you're resentful. Taking back your life and pursuing your career goals is a powerful way to reclaim your agency and happiness. Daycare could be a great option to give you the space and time you need. And don't let guilt hold you back from pursuing your career. You deserve fulfillment too. D says, I agree and disagree with you. It's absolutely true that OP should go back to work, but you are all acting like this is between two teens. We're talking about two grown people who made a decision. Choices are choices. The worst thing I've seen in this sub is how you all tried to separate everything, every responsibility. The child is theirs together. Stop going, he needs to do X, Y, and Z, or she needs to do X, Y, and Z. They both together need to put in the effort. OP wasn't drugged and bound. She was convinced with rationale. Yeah, she was convinced, but it doesn't seem like his life has been impacted, only hers. So he does need to pull in some of this work. It's not just about what she needs to do or he needs to do. He just needs to do more. This person says she agreed and she made her bed. Now she has to lie in it. This person says OP is thriving. She just doesn't realize it yet. It's childless, bitter people like you that think a child ruins your life. It's comical, actually, because you're missing out on one of the most miraculous and beautiful things a human can do and experience. The funniest part about it is that you people do this on your own volition and feel like you have any weight in saying literally anything about parenting or kids in general. It's probably better that you end your family's lineage at you anyway. Good on you. Thumbs up. Okay. This person, domestic Mongol, says, I don't think you can be a good mom while you are lacking any trace of empathy. Okay. This is the reason why I'm on team let the birth rate plummet to hell. People push women to have babies, and then women, after being pushed to have the babies, are left with shouldering everything. And then people act like, it's weird or terrible that the women are feeling upset that they have to shoulder everything. Like I said, people like this world doesn't deserve the sacrifice that women are making to be mothers and have children because women don't get the support necessary. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. This just makes me ask the question, why are men? Why are men? Women will go to social media, post about their life, talk about their job, what they're doing, vacation, or whatever. And a man just has to come in and do this. So this woman on Thread said, what the F, men? Can we mind our own effing business for like 2 seconds? So she posted a screenshot of her own page saying, all of my classes are feminist classes this semester, so get ready. And then she puts up the peace sign. And I do want to remind people that you do not have to be in people's spaces. Yes, this is social media, but if you see someone that doesn't tickle your fancy, you do not have to participate in their social media post. You don't have to. If you don't like feminists, then swoop by feminists. Just leave them alone. But then this person that's called Don't Kill Me says, paying for a college degree and being more worried about being in a feminist class instead of just focusing on getting your actual education is just a waste of money. But hey, it's your money. Why is this even necessary? Who is he to even care about her money? And why do they hate feminism so much? Like they literally know very little about feminism. They think that feminists simply hate men. They have such a very little understanding at all of what feminists have won for women at all. They just think that they just hate men, or they attach anything that a woman does that they don't like to feminism. If they would ever read a book, if they would just ever read a book, but they won't. They won't. Anyways, Strawberry Soda just says, you're an idiot. And so these are the comments. And she's the very first comment on her own post saying, also, that isn't how it works. This is part of my degree. But imagine being so blinded by prejudice, you can't even comprehend how higher education works. When I went to school, I went to and graduated from the Ohio State University. And when I was in school, I didn't major in like any feminist studies or gender studies or anything like that, but I got to choose to take African American and African studies and I did take some gender studies classes, some feminist classes. And those are the classes where you really learn what women went through in this country and how women had to claw and fight for the rights that we currently have. And then in my African American and African studies classes, you read about the cases that Black people went through in the court cases that Black people went through in this country, where we won rights, or how women or minorities were treated in this country. And these are the things that they don't teach you in regular K through 12, because this country was built on sexism and racism. And so in their curriculum in K through 12 that is free is full of propaganda. They don't talk about how they built this country on the backs of women and minorities. They don't do that, because then that will jack up their propaganda machine, which seeks to edify people as heroes, which were really villains in some other people's stories. So as you come to take some of these classes, you learn who the real villains were in many cases. Then just a few more of these comments. Max says, he's also a bigot. Some very anti-minority statements on his page and comments, reported and blocked. Strawberry Soda just says, ugh, gross. And Big and Small Are Subjective says, he just gave a prime example of why women want to take feminist classes. With all the incel and alpha male BS going on in our government, in the US at least, stripping women's rights, feminism is more important now than ever. This comment was funny. Maybe if you didn't stick your face in his unsolicited opinion. And then she says, literally, who do I think I am? And then the person says, entitled to just existing, apparently. Entitled to just existing. If you exist and post something about yourself, it's just, where men just need to come in and just give an opinion. Like, why do you have to be so negative at a woman just existing or happy or whatever? Why are men? This person says, okay, this is just so over the top ignorant. I had to laugh out loud to not cry. These are the same people that are against critical race theory because they think it means their race gets criticized. I'll never forget the day I learned about that idea. Harrington Stacy says, that said, I hope it was not too upsetting to you. I know it can be a lot. And then Cuz I'm a Leo says, now you will finally see the truth. Feminism isn't for the weak. I'm an engineer, and the feminist gender studies are the best classes I've taken. The males need them the most, but they're too fragile to do that. Good luck. And the thing is, it's like when someone told me that I was radical because of my feminism, I was just like, wow, I'm radical because I think that women and girls deserve opportunities and that we shouldn't just be like taking it. We shouldn't just be submissive simply because we were born with a uterus. And people really believe that that is a radical notion. All right, y'all. So I'm going to end this thread. I just wanted y'all to see that. So I wanted to do a couple of comments under my particular post. Now, I've already said, stop doing so much unpaid labor at work for men, whatever. Just stop doing so much, especially if you're not receiving anything in return. And to that, Blue Green Glue says, thanks to this channel, I have begun refusing to do the women's work at work. Cleaning the dishes, people or men leave in the break room sink, cleaning out the coffee machine, wiping down the table, even putting more paper in the damn copier. I'm sick to death of doing it because someone has to. I'm not even being paid enough to pay rent on my own. So doing this extra stuff is just not working for me anymore. I've been a pleaser all my life, but I have finally realized it gets me literally nothing. Stop doing extra. Do your job. That's it. Do your job. Don't go above and beyond. Stop doing unpaid labor. I am consistently saying, pour into the people that have poured into you. And Sarah says the same thing here. She says, pour into the people who have poured into you for sure. Participate equally with people who also equally participate. I'm reinforcing this with my daughters to the max. It's something I wish could have been reinforced with me as a child. I was a parentified eldest daughter. So we're going to shift things. If we if we make sure that our daughters know this, if we reinforce these lessons to our daughters to where they learn to pour into themselves first and then look at relationships that are equal or supportive or whatnot, we can see things change within our lifetimes if we start with ourselves and then teach these things to our daughters. All right, I'm going to end it with that. Let me know what you think about all of this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.